Pretty much all my life, I have conflated being kind with being nice or being generous.
It's a line between like when you being nice to somebody at the end where they start taking advantage of that.
I realize that I have not been a very kind person in general because
Okay, so you know what I'm saying, we back. Little change in plans real quick. I had to change around what I was gonna do. At first I was gonna do a Jubilee video, then decided to do that because it was a little too long. I feel like, long videos people don't really tend to watch. But today we got one of, I feel like, the most smartest intellectuals on YouTube that I watch. Young Don, the Sauce Guy. Don't be nice to people. Do this instead. Now, for me, 90% of the things Young Don be saying is like, it be facts. Like, it's facts. Like Soul Illuminati. Like, I feel like Soul Illuminati be having truth to what he be saying, but I feel like he just be going off the edge a little too much. But I ain't trying to take up no more time. It's a 5-minute video, short, quick video. Let's get into it. Let's see what he's saying.
yesterday I was thinking about something that I have never thought about deeply up until yesterday. And it was inspired by a book I've recently started listening to called Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Marcus Aurelius is a philosopher. He was the emperor of the Roman Empire for a period of time, and he's known as the philosopher emperor. But the thing I want to talk about today is the importance of being kind. That's something that I've never read.
And before he start, I feel like the title says, don't be too nice to people. I kind of feel like you already know what he gonna say, because it's like it's a line between like when you being nice to somebody at the end where they start taking advantage of that, like going out your way to help somebody even though you don't have to. I feel like that's like you being too nice. It's like it's to the point where you're being too nice to where that person is almost dependent upon you, and it's like expecting you to do these things at that point.
Pretty much all my life, I have conflated being kind with being nice or being generous. I would think the word kind to be a synonym for one of those two things. You know, I recently got married, and one of the pieces of advice my mother gave me upon getting married was that I should be kind to my wife, and that my wife should be kind to me as well. And I would brush it off because I was thinking, oh yeah, I'm nice to her. Of course I'm nice to her. And I'm very generous to her. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit, ask my bank account how generous I am to my wife. You feel me? But I'm realizing now, I didn't understand what it truly means to be kind. Upon introspection, I realized that I have not been a very kind person in general because I have not been conscious of being kind. So let me define what being kind is, how I think it's different from being nice and also different from being generous. I still stand on, I believe it's in nobody's best interest to be a nice person. There's a reason they say nice guys finish last. To be kind is to behave in a way that
and that's what I feel like you finna basically go into. Is like, being that nice person is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they just tend to get overlooked, basically, instead of, I guess I kind of see what he's saying now, to where it's being kind and being nice is kind of different. Like, being nice is not really a good trait, to be honest, but it's not really a bad trait at the same time. It just depends on the person.
The feelings and emotions and sensibilities of other people into account in a positive and loving way. Whereas being nice is behaving in a way where the goal is to get other people to like you more. And then being generous is simply the act of giving freely and happily. So I'll give an example of each. Let's say your wife made you dinner. Let's say your girlfriend made you dinner. And let's say she's usually an amazing cook, has never made a bad meal. But one day she just wasn't on her A game. Maybe she was a little distracted, whatever the reason. The dinner did not come out very good. So you receive this meal, you eat it and realize it's not very good, and you're used to it being good. So you're used to eating your meal and then complimenting her on her cooking. To be nice is to tell her, thanks babe, that was great. Business as usual, as you usually do, but you're not being honest. But you're saying that hoping not to upset her by giving her the truth. To be kind is to tell her that the meal wasn't as good as it usually is, but to do it in a way where you are conscious of her feelings. And depending on the dynamic between the two of you, it might be as simple as to not say anything at all. Because if she's used to getting praise when
that makes sense.
She does cook well, if when you eat this meal, you just put it in the sink and you don't really say anything, that may be enough for her to kind of be like, oh, I guess he didn't really like it that much. But let's say you feel like, oh, you really need to say something for her to know that, you know, something went wrong there. Then you could say it along the lines of, oh, baby, I just...
So I'm trying to see, is he saying like, you should be nice to, like what he said earlier, you should be nice to, of course, make people like you, gain more friends like that. And you should be kind to those that you kind of already had that relationship built up with, basically.
Nigga.
Like,
No.
your girlfriend or like something like that. Like,
no.
You know, like people like your family, like you should be kind to your family, but nice to like friends and things like that. Look at this man Gerald FaceTime.
Hello.
Hello.
You on the video?
Yep.
Yes, sir. What's up with you, go?
I'm gonna call you back right after this. I only got like 3 minutes left. All right.
Isn't hidden like it usually does. What do you think that could be? And then might tell you, oh, I was a little distracted. Oh, I left it on too long. Oh, I got it from somewhere else. But you don't go, oh, this don't taste good. You feel me? Because it doesn't matter that you've been complimenting her every day for the past however long on her cooking. That's still gonna hurt her feelings because she put in effort. If it's something she does for you on a regular basis, she obviously cares about how you feel about it. And then being generous, someone is in need of some money, you give them said money. You do it with a cheerful heart. You don't do it in a way where it's like, damn, I gotta give this person money, or oh, they're probably expecting it, or you do
that's facts.
Do it in a generous way.
Because then that's not generosity.
You do it in a giving way. You do it in a way where you're happy to help. That's a generosity. And I realize it's important to meditate on kindness because we all appreciate kindness, because none of us are perfect and we're all flawed. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention if that's something you have not thought about, the importance of being kind. It's different from being nice, and it's different from being generous, and it's all.
And it's like, when it comes to things like that, it's, you know, my problem like with me is like I am like too nice in a way. I guess I have to differentiate like the two meanings, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But that's it. I ain't really got too much else to say. It's something to think about. But yeah, that's it. So I'm sure I'll see y'all tomorrow.